Welcome to part one of Ballin with Bichette. Former Major League All-Star Dante Bichette sits down with us and talks a little hitting, a little bit about his two sons, Bo and Dante Jr., who are both playing affiliated baseball right now, and a little bit about the hitting landscape in today's day and age. Hope you enjoy. Oh, and in case you didn't know, Dante, this is for you. I had to put this clip up there because it's my favorite fist bump of all time.
Yeah, well, the first thing I want to ask, especially lately with both boys now in, being affiliated and Dante Jr.'s path, getting drafted high, and then kind of having some struggles and things that you feel like you said you thought you were too hard on him, and then seeing Bo's transition. What's it been like as a dad, former big league player, guy that's had a ton of success and reputation, and now watching both your boys go through it? How do you feel you are able to contribute or back off, I guess, a little bit?
Yeah, I've learned to back off more than contribute because you know how this game is. You've got to get it yourself. You've got to make the mistakes so you can learn from them. So I've learned to back off. And with Bo, I've done a much better job. You know how we raise it first when you're a little too trying to shove it in there, and I've learned to back off a lot better. And Junior's a little bit more like me. He's more of my mindset. It took me forever. I don't know if you guys realize, but I didn't get an everyday job until I was 29 years old. So it took me a long time to figure this game out. And the talent's there, so he still might figure this game out. Bo is like his mom, and they don't waste time. She figured it out early, but yeah, I've learned to back off more now. I mean, I have, you know what? I'm more of a rebound for Bo. Bo will not. He'll ask at the same time he's really telling me. If we're gonna talk hitting, he's telling me what he's gonna do in a question.
So it's the same thing he does with me too. He would do the same thing with me when he'd be like, "Let's go to the cage and work," and really he would just say things to me, and I'd be like, "Yeah, that's good." And I think he just needs, like you said, it's almost a backboard to bounce something off of, so it comes back and he feels good about it.
I threw about a half hour to him yesterday, and the whole time he's doing that to me, and then afterwards he's like thanking me for helping him out, and I'm like, "Yeah, I threw batting practice."
Yeah. Was it shirts optional yesterday, or just full shirts in BP?
No, this was at the complex.
Oh, all right.
Had to be in uni.
That's great. So, what are some of the biggest things that you see as problems with hitters? You have so much perspective with your own career, with seeing your boys come up through like the perfect game tournaments and the whole travel thing. What do you see as biggest challenges for kids right now trying to get to the next step?
I think it's coaching. I think there's such bad coaching out there that these kids, because travel ball starts so young, they start now, I'm telling you, they got 6-year-old travel ball teams. It's crazy.
Yep.
Because of that, they get poor coaching right off the get-go. So, Bobby, when you work with guys, you're not making great hitters. You're fixing guys more often than not. You're fixing swings.
Right.
Because dad or some coach that, said keep your front shoulder in there or something like that, they're not free anymore. They're really passive type hitters, and you see it in the minor league. When they get in the minor leagues, you see it. They're so passive that we get a lot of Latin players that come over that are so free that they get beat up right off the get-go. So more often than not, it's just coaching. It's so much baseball now that it's too much baseball now, and it's too much coaching. Yeah. That's what I say is the biggest thing.
Yeah. I remember a couple years ago we had talked about in Japan how the batting practice is completely different, where they get the guy that's throwing 50 feet but 80 miles an hour. What's your take on the use of flips or tee work versus more of that competitive game-like batting practice?
Well, there used to be a saying, I'm not sure if it still holds true, that it takes 2,000 at-bats to get a guy to the big leagues, but it takes 5 years to get 2,000 at-bats. And what I do with Bo is I go about 45, 50 feet, and I go as hard as I can, and I still throw well. It's the only reason I throw well is because I've thrown to my boys through the years, so I still throw well. I try to get them out. And to me, it speeds up the process. if a golfer takes a ball, he throws it on a course. He's playing live, man. He's there's nothing different between that, except maybe there's something on the line,
right,
than a real tournament. A tennis player plays a point or returns a serve in practice. It's just like game, but flip toss is not a game. Tee is not a game. There's nothing live about that. You're working mechanics right there. You're not working what's real important, neck up, where to go when you get beat on a fastball.
yeah.
Where do you go? Off a tee, you don't get beat on a fastball. Where do you go? Where do you go when you get fooled in your head? You got to have go-tos, and it takes a lot of at-bats to have go-tos in your mind. Where do I go when that happens? You can get sped up if you get beat, or you can say, just stay right there. That was a good pitch inside. Just stay right there. You have to have go-tos, and that's called experience, and you've got to get that through enough at-bats.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I've watched you throw BP to the boys and taking BP off you, and testament to your arm because you're an Iron Mike. It's unbelievable. I don't know how you do
fills it up for 2 hours,
and then the next day go out and pitch a doubleheader and throw like 17 out of the 18 innings just because you want to let one guy get in there. But no, I mean I think that's unbelievable. Would you say at any point in time, and obviously you're a competitor and the boys are super competitive too, and I look forward to talking to them about it, but would you say there was ever a time where they get their feelings hurt when they were younger, when you're out there throwing cheese and they're struggling or mixing in a breaking ball? And how much did that help learn how to cope with failure moving forward?
Yeah. I knew early on they were going to be players because what I did was I got back in the game too quick. I mean, I went right from big league at-bats to coaching my boys. Big mistake. I wouldn't have done that. I'd have waited 5 years because I was a professional trying to coach an amateur. So I was really demanding as a young dad coaching my boys, and I would go at it with them. So yeah, we'd have some serious practices.
Yeah.
I remember when Junior was 10 and I threw a ball and I got pissed and I threw one harder and he knew I was coming harder. It was just out of the blue. I was going to throw one hard and you could see he got pissed and he hit one before I finished. It went by my ear and I said, oh, okay, I got a ball player here. Let's go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, there was some feelings hurt. We got after it, but I think in the long run, the boys know, hey, Dad's been there every step of the way. He's there with us, and that says a lot, I think.
Well, I think that's the beauty of it, right? Having been around both of them quite a bit, I think they're both pretty aware of what you've accomplished, and obviously that your intentions are good, right? And I think that's the hardest part. And it was the same thing with my dad. Growing up, he's dad. Like, even though he has great baseball advice, sometimes he's still dad, so it's hard to make that distinction. But I think in your case, you've built such a good relationship with both of them, and they understand the baseball part, and that's a testament to you guys, and obviously the kind of family you are. So I look forward to seeing what they both do moving forward. I think D getting to go over to a new organization would be awesome, and obviously Bo's Bo, and they're selling his T-shirt at the store already. So, I mean, when you're going by the store, did you go by the store at Dunedin Stadium and see the shirt and they're like, why is he wearing my number? Why does he have my number already? I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just went to the complex yesterday and there are people running around with the jersey on, and I'm like, wow, really? I mean, he's not getting any of that license.
We got to get licensing money, yeah.
No, not until he's in the big leagues, right?
Yeah, that's bullshit, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, Bo's the last guy in the world that wants to be in the spotlight. He just wants to play baseball.
Right.
He wants no part of it, which is probably good in a way. His mom's like that. You never see her, unless you're looking at her Instagram. You'll never see her do an interview or have a camera on her too long. She'll run away.
Yeah.